Now we're going to go to our next presenter, and the next presenter also has some really profound video to show us. Please stay tuned.
Wheelchair on, please. I gotta check. I'm still watching. The wheelchair is supposed to go on first. I know. But the thing is, I got elderly people, I got disabled people, and it's really crowded. Hi, I'd like to get on the bus, please. Could you please put down the ramp and ask people to move? You didn't even pull up to the curb all the way.
But you're gonna have to catch the one behind me. I gotta stand on low.
Just trying to get on the bus. You're the third bus. You're the third bus I've been waiting for. Just because I'm disabled doesn't mean I don't need to get home. I'm just trying to go home.
To tell us what you'd like us to consider.
Hi, my name is Zach Carnazes. Dear SFMTA Executive Board, I'm addressing you here today as a wheelchair user and San Francisco resident who has struggled for years with discrimination, ableism, and abuse from your staff and from Muni drivers. It is not uncommon for wheelchair users to have to wait for 3 or 4 buses every single day at the same stop just to get home or to get to the doctor. I want to really encourage MOD and the council members to look into the unbelievable discrimination and ableism that is happening with San Francisco MTA, Municipal Transit Authority. They recently canceled all 4 of my upcoming ADA hearings while I was awaiting response for reasonable disability accommodations, outright canceled them with no notice. They are now deleting public records in 72 hours of bus footage with access violations. They think this is okay to just delete our public records when we request them. I requested records 5 days after an incident. They were already deleted.
Oh, really profound video. And definitely highlights a lot of what people with disabilities have to go through, and especially with older transit cities like San Francisco. But joining us now is Zach Carnazes, a disability advocate from the city of San Francisco. Zach, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Bakari.
Now, tell us a little bit about your work and what you were able to influence. And yes, we will say influence for all intents and purposes in this situation.
Yes. So as you saw in the footage, this is an issue I've been working on for years. It's not something I went into, wanting to be an activist or an advocate, but something that came about through my day-to-day struggle to get to the doctor, to get to the grocery store, to get into my community. And it's been going on for years, and really it was about 4 years, I want to say, before it got to the point where I realized the city wasn't going to do anything about this without some litigation. And I ended up filing a lawsuit against the city and county of San Francisco for this discrimination. And I have good news that we have successfully settled. There are some massive gains, both for operators, drivers, for the union, TWU Local 250A, who is amazingly supportive, which might be surprising to some when you see that video, right? You're like, why would the union be really supportive? And that's because what I learned is I scratched the surface and I kind of peeled the onion and dug deeper and deeper. And I learned that these behaviors were happening due to a lack of training, due to a lack of incentive. And I found out, for example, that in 400 hours of training that union operators get, only 3.5 hours, that's less than 1%, was on disability. Right. And before this lawsuit, there was no quiz even, to make sure people retain the knowledge. They didn't even call it disability or ADA training. They had some other really weird name for it. And so there were all these layers of bureaucratic, kind of red tape and stuff. And so I filed this lawsuit, and it's been a long battle, but as of this winter, we have just settled it, and the full text of the lawsuit and the gains of it are published on my website. And that's where we are right now.
Absolutely. And it sounds like, and it's unfortunate that had to happen, but, and there's probably others like you that have to feel with that. And especially within a hilly city like San Francisco, where a lot of the transit infrastructure was built much before Title VI. So there was no ADA accessibility. There were no tactiles, and there weren't any ramps. So yeah, and especially with the video that we saw, it just it looked really painful that, there was no forced training, that there was none of that.
Yeah, like I said, there was some training. It was not adequate, and it did not include a test or a quiz to make sure that drivers retain the information. And there's just not a lot of incentivization. If a bus operator picks up a disabled person that's minutes out of their route that they can actually be penalized for, it comes out of their break and their fixed route time that they have available. And so you had everything kind of working against, disabled folks and seniors that need a little extra help getting on the bus. But yeah, it's been quite a journey, and we have now a brand new accessibility website. I've worked to make sure that disabled people now are familiar with their rights for filing a complaint, and I've advocated very strongly for that complaint process to not lead to simply punishment of union operator drivers, but positive incentivization and education.
Absolutely. And we're definitely going to show that site as of now. So this is the site right here, and it shows the accessible services. And it also goes into what capital projects were also going into it. And this is wonderful, given the fact that they just opened the Central Subway in San Francisco. So this is good, that because it gives people with disabilities more options to move around to where they don't feel like they're trapped in their home.
Yeah, and there's also two other sites I want to highlight: the accessibility complaint website and the ADA hearing website, which actually lets us know our rights, which were previously not published, and is very exciting. And those are available on my website as well. So if you want to learn more, you can click on, or you can check out the ticker on the bottom, go to my YouTube or my website, and lots of information there. But yeah, it's very exciting. And I also want to just highlight, a lot of times we're told as disabled people, why don't you just go use paratransit? Why don't you just go away, go use one of those other services? And the thing about those other services is it kind of has this separate but equal, mindset behind it, but it's really separate and unequal. Paratransit requires a 24-hour in advance reservation. The buses are often an hour late or more, and it's a ride sharing service, which means that you might have to spend another half hour going the wrong direction because they're picking up somebody else. Right. And I've been on those buses for 2 hours. Sometimes I can't pee, can't use a bathroom. You don't have the choice to get off. So I want to be in the community with everyone else. That's what disabled people have fought for decades. And a lot of it started here and in Berkeley with Ed Roberts and Judy Heumann and other groundbreaking pioneers. And I just see myself as another activist continuing that struggle.
Well, we definitely thank you for that and the work that you've done. Zach Karnezes from Disability Rights San Francisco, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Transportation. More than point A to point B. It's startling how we can overlook the artery and veins to our economy, community, and ecology. Collective solutions, no apology for sticking up for trains and buses. This is traveling justice, is worth fighting for in many forms. The bus is where I write, and light bulbs tend to pop above my head in light. Support, exchange, and anecdotes, converse with people that I might not get to know or normally speak to passing by on a rolling centipede of urban scape. You can meet a date, find true love, or contemplate philosophy so deep, relaxing among the window's parallax view. Life's a different pace. Here comes the union operator like he's your own valet. Curbside to meet and trace familiar streets. Don't know what all the fuss is. Keep that inferior leather interior. Can't compete with city buses. I'm not in a traffic jam. I'm having wonderful discussions with the locals and the tourists on Arizmendi's tasty muffins. It's the equalizing, socializing, obvious solution to cut down on traffic jams and tailpipe pollution. I'm here to break it down. Some cities even cover theirs with art. Sometimes standing up means sitting down, like Rosa Parks. This is a day that's made to honor each of those that play a part in keeping us connected, making sure the engine always starts. From mechanics to the drivers, city planners and MacGyvers, retrofitting cable cars and balancing the tires, the activists and visionaries to which we all aspire. I salute you helping us get on our way. Respect to Rosa Parks, and happy Transit Equity Day.